Okay, so we didn't end up moving because the coronavirus meant we weren't allowed to settle. Because here in New Zealand, we're in isolation. So I'm stuck here until mid-May. So I've done a little bit more work on the truck, as you can see. We've got the bonnet on, or the hood. Lines up pretty good at the front, but not so good at the back. Don't quite know what's going on. I can't get it any further down than that. And if I just give this a slight lift, you can see how much play I'm getting out of those. So there's a hell of a lot of play, and I just don't think my springs are holding enough tension to pull everything back down. So you can see that side as well. So I'll probably order a couple of new hinges. I know there's some aftermarket kits for the 57 and earlier, or 55 to 57 models, so that'll do. Oh yeah, I've had to take the air filter off because with the flat base and the big air filter stack was just rubbing on these two cross brace, or that cross brace there and somewhere over there. So I'm probably going to have to take that cross brace off, and at this stage my thought is I'm actually going to run a piece of flat steel across there and then cut a hole for where the air filter goes so that the air is taken from the top half, not the bottom half of the engine, meaning that I'm getting cooler air making more power. Just a side thought, but we'll have a play around with that once we get the hinges on. So yeah, those are on. The door's on. It's a little bit low, so coming across here it drops down, but it's also a little bit in. That's just touching on the inside of that A-pillar. So I'm going to have to adjust this hinge outwards to pull all this door out. You can see there, it's actually quite a way in, the whole way across, and hopefully that'll fix that up. But other than that, the gap on this side doesn't actually look too bad for a really old truck. The door's in. Let me grab my trusty door handle here. So yeah, I've been playing with that. Oh yeah, and I do have the internal door regulators there, and they work the door as well. Before I get onto the next part of the door, I've pulled out my kick panels. They used to be one piece, and you had to mount this outside of this. Well, now it's independent, so that'll just slide up into here without having to take that off all the time if I want to access anything in behind here, which is pretty good, because as you can see, with the COVID virus, I've been playing around. I've only got limited tools here. Most of my shit is in storage. I've been playing around with the electric doors. So let me just turn that on. There goes the fuel pump. Not the electric doors, sorry, the electric windows. So if we try and get that down in there, where are we? There we go. Up and down. And then I can control the passenger's door, so you can just see in the door, middle of the door there, it's going up and down. And the one on the passenger side there works as well. The switch is just there. Turn that off again so the battery doesn't go flat. Oh, actually, before we do that. So I've actually got in and mounted all my switches, so I haven't got my seat in again, but if I'm sitting in my seat, you know, kind of here-ish, I can easily reach over and control the vintage air. So that all works. Now I've just got to come up with something for the center of that dash. I'm not actually too fussed. I'm thinking I might just mount one of the original American number plates in the middle of the dash and not put the stereo in there, and then just run a Bluetooth amp, put the Bluetooth amp under the seat, and basically use my phone as my MP3 player, because I don't really listen to the radio and I don't want to have an aerial. So yeah, watch the space. So I'm thinking number plate the original number plate for the truck, which I've got somewhere, just on the dashboard. Oh, and I've mounted the backing plate for the glove box. That's all in and done. I just need to take these 3 screws here off when I go to do the glove box lid, which is down there, but that still needs to be painted. And I've kicked out the other door card as well, again to go around that so that I don't have to keep taking that in and out when I want to get to any wiring. And there's the wire and there's the other switch. So the only other thing I've done, I've put this back up. I did have it up in one of my previous videos. I took it off. I've got a one of those plastic cover sheets to go over there with the dimples in it, and I had no end of troubles trying to get that to stay up on the roof. And then push this stuff here in because my new roof skin I think is a little bit lower. So I ended up having to take the plastic board off and basically put the rubber on to hide the edgings. And what I'm going to do is design up a screen print like an American flag or a bald eagle or something. And my son, who's a vinyl graphics person, did all the graphics on my Nova. I'll get him to put something up here, some sort of a picture up on the roof. So yeah, other than that, oh yeah, this door here is not quite closing. It has a number of issues. The first of which is I haven't got it hinged up right, so I think it needs to go backwards on the bottom hinge. But the lower panel down here, the bolt that's welded into the back side of that panel, when you come through and into that bolt is threaded. So I'm going to have to get that bolt retapped in a bigger size, so that guard's got to come off to get all that done anyway. And I decided that I'm just going to get rid of all of this. I'm going to sand it all back. I'm going to do it in a matte black or a satin black. I'll tidy up, some of these dents, see if I can pop some of them out when I was sanding all this back and primering it all back. But again, I can't go and get any primer because everything's in lockdown here. So that's the latest update. So until I do some more, I'll catch you all later.